When you walk into Kmart or Big W looking for sunglasses, you're navigating the same retail experience millions of Australians face weekly. The shelves stock mass-produced frames that crack within months and lenses promising UV protection but delivering false security. What remains invisible is the infrastructure behind those sunglasses: manufacturing standards, material sourcing, and durability metrics separating genuine investment from disposable eyewear. Australia's retail landscape, dominated by massive conglomerates, has made us forget that sunglasses brands operating locally offer something genuinely different. Not trendy or Instagram-worthy, but different where it matters. Structural integrity, transparent sourcing, and honest pricing reflecting actual material quality rather than marketing hype. Today, we're breaking down 5 Australian sunglasses brands flying under the radar while department store chains monopolize shelf space. These aren't brands requiring mortgage-level spending. These aren't brands relying on celebrity endorsements. These are brands built on the principle that Australians deserve to know exactly what they're buying and deserve eyewear lasting beyond one summer season. Sunshades Eyewear was founded in 1969 by Betty Lassa, who started selling unbranded sunglasses from a North Bondi pharmacy. That origin story is the foundation of everything Sunshades became. Over 50 years later, Sunshades operates as Australia's largest locally owned eyewear manufacturer and distributor, producing sunglasses not just for their brand, but for luxury conglomerates like Gucci, Saint Laurent, Cartier, and Bottega Veneta. When you understand Sunshades manufactures frames for the world's most expensive fashion houses, you realize their quality control and manufacturing standards are world-class. The company employs over 110 people and maintains distribution networks in more than 30 countries. What makes Sunshades particularly interesting is they operate as both manufacturer and retailer, eliminating middleman markup on their own brand sunglasses. Their frames are available through optometrists and specialist eyewear retailers across Australian cities, priced between Australian dollar 150 and Australian dollar 350. The acetate comes from premium European suppliers, and every frame undergoes rigorous testing for optical clarity, durability, and hinge strength. Sunshades doesn't advertise heavily because their reputation is built on supplying frames to brands charging 10 times their retail price. You're essentially buying the same manufacturing quality as luxury brands without the fashion house markup. Savage Sunglasses was founded in 1993 in Umundi, Queensland, building their entire business around affordable polarized sunglasses without sacrificing quality. The brand specializes in frames made from TR90, a thermoplastic material that's virtually indestructible. Savage pairs these frames with polarized lenses measuring 1.1 millimeter thick, significantly thicker than standard 0.8 millimeter budget lenses. The polarization technology reduces glare by up to 95%, particularly valuable for driving, fishing, or any activity where reflected light becomes a safety concern. Savage sunglasses cost between Australian dollar 60 and Australian dollar 120, competing directly with mass market offerings from Kmart and Target, but with substantially better material specifications. The Australian Competition and Consumer Commission maintains mandatory standards for all sunglasses sold in Australia under the Consumer Goods Sunglasses and Fashion Spectacles Safety Standard. These standards require UV protection across the full spectrum, proper lens categorization, and accurate labeling. Savage meets and exceeds these standards, providing detailed documentation of lens specifications on every product page. Operating primarily through online retail eliminates physical storefront overhead, passing savings directly to consumers. Comparing Savage's material specifications to department store sunglasses reveals immediate differences. Hinge mechanisms use stainless steel rather than plastic, nose pads are silicone rather than rubber, and overall frame weight distribution reduces stress on hinges during normal wear. These aren't revolutionary innovations. They're basic engineering principles mass-market brands abandoned for cost reduction. Savage built a business by refusing to cut corners on materials and manufacturing processes that actually matter. Paired Eyewear, founded in 2012, represents the intersection of Australian design innovation and premium material sourcing. Frames are handmade using premium acetate from European suppliers, constructed using traditional techniques refined over decades. What separates Paired from other premium brands is their commitment to transparency about manufacturing. They publish detailed information about acetate sourcing, supplier relationships, and frame construction. This transparency is almost non-existent in mass-market eyewear, where brands routinely obscure supply chains and manufacturing locations. Paired frames are distributed through independent optometrists and boutique retailers across Australia, particularly in Sydney and Melbourne, priced between Australian dollar 180 and Australian dollar 280. The acetate is produced through processes minimizing waste and environmental impact, working exclusively with suppliers maintaining ethical labor practices. When you hold paired sunglasses, the first thing you notice is weight and balance. Premium acetate feels different than cheap acetate, slightly heavier, more substantial texture, feeling like an object designed to last rather than an object designed for replacement. Lenses are sourced from manufacturers specializing in optical quality glass and polycarbonate, available in multiple treatments including polarization, photochromic technology, and blue light filtering. Paired has developed a reputation among Australian eyewear enthusiasts as a place offering custom frame builds, where you choose lens type, color, and frame finish, receiving sunglasses made specifically to your requirements. This customization is something you'll never find at Kmart or Big W. Local supply emerged from Bondi, building a cult following among Australians prioritizing both style and substance in eyewear. The brand was founded with the explicit goal of creating sunglasses withstanding harsh Australian sun and saltwater exposure without degrading. Local supply frames are engineered to be lightweight yet structurally rigid through careful material selection and frame geometry design. They use a combination of acetate and titanium components, creating frames that are both aesthetically refined and mechanically robust. Lenses are polarized and treated with hydrophobic coating, repelling water and salt spray, particularly valuable for anyone spending time near the ocean. The hydrophobic coating isn't marketing hype. It actually reduces maintenance required to keep sunglasses clean and functioning. When salt water or sweat dries on lenses without hydrophobic treatment, it leaves mineral deposits scratching the lens surface during cleaning. With hydrophobic coating, these deposits are much less likely to adhere, extending sunglasses' lifespan significantly. Local supply has cultivated a reputation among Australian celebrities and athletes, giving them market visibility. But their competitive advantage lies in material engineering rather than celebrity endorsements. Their sunglasses are priced between Australian dollar 140 and Australian dollar 200, positioned as premium compared to mass-market brands, but justified by actual material specifications and lens technology. The brand operates through online retail and boutique stockists across major Australian cities, maintaining commitment to keeping manufacturing and distribution networks as local as possible. Examining local supply frame construction compared to department store frames reveals immediate differences in attention to detail. Hinges are reinforced with additional material at stress points. Nose pads are ergonomically shaped, distributing pressure evenly across the bridge, and overall frame geometry minimizes stress on individual components during normal wear. Lispex was founded in 1979 and has evolved from a small Bondi-based operation into a brand with genuine international cult following, yet remains somewhat underappreciated domestically. The creative director and driving force is Hamish Tame, who previously served as creative director at Sunshades Eyewear before transforming Lispex into a global phenomenon. What's interesting is, they've achieved international recognition without abandoning commitment to quality manufacturing and material sourcing. The brand produces multiple collections each season, ranging from affordable basics around Australian dollar 80 to premium offerings reaching Australian dollar 150. Frames are manufactured using high-quality acetate, with lenses available in multiple treatments including polarization, gradient tinting, and photochromic technology. Lispex has developed a reputation for bold, innovative frame designs, pushing boundaries of conventional eyewear aesthetics. Their frames feature geometric shapes, unexpected color combinations, and design details making them instantly recognizable. However, what often gets overlooked is that aesthetic innovation pairs with genuine material quality. The acetate comes from the same European suppliers providing material to luxury eyewear brands, and manufacturing processes undergo the same rigorous quality control standards. Lispex has been at the forefront of sustainability initiatives within eyewear. They've implemented recycling programs for old frames, committed to reducing plastic waste in packaging, and increased supply chain transparency. The brand publishes annual sustainability reports detailing environmental impact and progress toward reduction. This corporate transparency is rarely found in mass-market eyewear, where brands treat supply chains as proprietary secrets. Comparing Lispec's material specifications and manufacturing standards to department store sunglasses reveals striking differences. Lispec's frames are designed to be repaired and maintained, with replacement nose pads and hinges available for purchase. Department store sunglasses are designed to be discarded and replaced. This fundamental difference in design philosophy reflects completely different approaches to brand-customer relationships. Here's what's genuinely remarkable about these 5 brands. They all operate within the Australian market, maintain manufacturing or distribution operations in Australia, and refuse to compete on price alone. Instead, they compete on material quality, manufacturing standards, and supply chain transparency. Australia's retail landscape has been shaped by massive conglomerates like Wesfarmers, which owns Kmart and Target, and Woolworths Group, which owns Big W. These retailers built business models around volume sales and razor-thin margins, inevitably pressuring suppliers to reduce costs. That cost reduction typically comes from cheaper materials, simplified manufacturing processes, and reduced quality control standards. The sunglasses you buy at these retailers are often manufactured by the same companies producing sunglasses for premium brands, but made to lower specifications with lower quality control standards. This isn't conspiracy, it's how retail economics work. When selling sunglasses for Australian $25, you can't afford the same materials and manufacturing processes as brands selling for Australian $150. The 5 brands examined today have found ways to operate profitably while maintaining higher material standards and manufacturing quality. Sunshades leverages their position as a manufacturer for luxury brands. Savage eliminates retail overhead through online-only distribution. Paired focuses on a niche market valuing design innovation and material quality. Local Supply builds brand identity around specific needs of Australian consumers. Lispec's achieves sufficient scale to justify investment in quality manufacturing and sustainable practices. The common thread is that they've rejected the race to the bottom, characterizing much of mass-market eyewear. They've positioned themselves as alternatives for consumers willing to spend more for sunglasses that will actually last, made from materials that won't degrade in Australian sun, from companies transparent about product origins and manufacturing. The Australian Consumer Law, administered by the ACCC, provides certain protections for consumers purchasing goods, including sunglasses. These protections include guarantees that goods must be of acceptable quality, fit for purpose, and as described. However, these protections are often difficult to enforce against mass-market retailers, particularly when the issue is gradual material degradation rather than sudden failure. The brands examined today operate with different philosophy. They stand behind their products, make repairs and replacements available, and maintain direct customer relationships rather than hiding behind massive retail chain anonymity. When you purchase sunglasses from these brands, you're not just buying a product. You're buying into a relationship with a company maintaining a reputation and commitment to quality extending beyond the initial sale. The sunglasses market in Australia is at an inflection point. Consumers are increasingly aware of supply chain issues, environmental impact, and the false economy of buying cheap products needing frequent replacement. Department store chain dominance is being challenged by consumers seeking alternatives offering genuine value. The 5 brands examined today represent the vanguard of that shift. They're not trying to outmarket big retailers or outprice them. They're simply making better sunglasses and being honest about what they're doing. That's a refreshingly different approach in an industry built on marketing hype and false claims about material quality and durability. If you've spent recent years buying sunglasses from department stores only to watch them degrade within a season, consider what you're actually paying for. You're paying for convenience. Walking into a store and grabbing sunglasses without research. You're paying for brand recognition based on marketing rather than product quality. You're paying for the privilege of supporting massive retail conglomerates optimizing supply chains for cost reduction rather than quality. The 5 brands examined today offer a different proposition. They're asking you to invest more money up front for sunglasses that will actually last, made from materials that won't degrade, from companies transparent about their practices. That's not a difficult choice if you're willing to think beyond immediate convenience of department store shopping. The real gold mine isn't finding cheap sunglasses, it's finding sunglasses actually worth the money you're spending. If this breakdown has shifted your perspective on what's in your eyewear collection, subscribe because we do this every week, cutting through marketing noise to uncover what's structurally legitimate in Australian retail. Comment below on which of these brands you've worn and whether your experience matches what we've discussed. Have you noticed durability differences between department store sunglasses and premium alternatives? Let's start the conversation about whether Australian consumers are finally ready to reject disposable eyewear and invest in products actually designed to last.